Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
Feels a little different in the space today. Yeah, it feels a little quiet.
I swear to God, it's been like months, I think, since it was just us.
Yeah, since we started Midnight Sun.
That's fucked up.
Maybe even before
What?
then.
That's so wild.
Yeah.
Well, hi.
Hey.
If you all remember our voices anymore.
It's us. We're back. Back
We're
to classic
back.
mode.
Yes, just us. Stressy and depressy. That's us.
You know it.
I feel like because of the fact that people apparently don't know what we look like.
Right.
I feel like they imagine us as the fucking sidekicks to Hades in Hercules.
Yeah. I mean, I've never thought about it like that before, but we do give off that energy, absolutely.
I don't remember what those fucking things are called. What are they, like? Pain and not pleasure. That's inappropriate
For Christian Disney? Come on.
for a Christian
Come on.
Disney.
Reel it in, all right?
It's got it. Oh, it's Pain and Panic.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it is.
I mean, if that ain't us.
if that. You know what? Actually, I can't believe it took me 4 years to figure that out.
Welcome back to Pain and Panic.
Oh, God. I need someone to draw that immediately.
Yeah.
Please and thank you. So, yeah, welcome into the Twilight. I'm Pain.
I'm Panic.
Honestly, Cody, just that moment where they're wearing the, like, Hercules sandals and the Hercules little cups.
Us when we finally meet in person 4 years from
Literally.
now.
Just sharing one brain cell.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God. You know what? Sometimes, not always, but sometimes I do have good ideas.
Yeah. Listen, but when they hit, right? You know,
That's true.
like they're real good.
Not always, but sometimes, you know? How are you?
I'm good, I think. My happy thing today is a game that I just finished playing, / have been playing for the last couple days, called Coffee Talk.
Tell me more.
It is like, kind of like a visually novel story game kind of thing, but you're like a barista in a apocalyptic kind of Seattle, and you just like make coffee for people, and then they tell you their business, and it's like this little story, and it's very like cutesy animation, like, and the music fucking slaps. But I've just been fucking brewing up a storm over here, making a little coffee for my mutant friends and customers, and it's been great.
Wait, this is the one where the photo looked just like you.
Yes, yeah, and so one of the characters in it looks a lot like how I look at this moment, and she's also a journalist, and I was like, this is too much.
Yeah, that character has like the same color hair as you right now.
Literally, yeah. It's a little annoying.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was the game you were playing. The style of that is so cool.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
Hell yeah. I love that.
Yeah. How are you doing? What is your thing? What is up?
Oh, I'm living. I am on break right now, so I am like getting sleep.
Ooh.
Which I have not gotten in a long time.
Yeah.
So that is nice. We here in Seattle gone from like having mid-50s weather to like snow.
Yeah.
It's been a weird
Sure.
It's been a weird moment here. So that's been a nice surprise. My happy thing, though, is I'm not going to talk about The Bachelorette.
Thank you.
Until Cody is caught up. And so instead I'm bringing another piece of television that has been bringing me joy. Well, sort of bringing me joy. And it is, I'm watching Mad Men for the first time.
Welcome.
First of all, fuck anyone who loves this show. I'll just say that, because I feel like I know a little bit about the show just by proxy of, like, existing on the internet when this show existed. And what I took from this show when it was on was like, ooh, it's like sexy and it's in the 60s and everyone is like hot and they're fucking, which like is true.
Yes.
What I didn't take from that, because all of you didn't meme this part, is the amount of trauma that was coming out of this.
Fundamental to that show.
And it's very well done. I just finished the first season, and it is an amazing piece of television that I'm going to keep watching.
Yeah.
So I'm happy about that, but I'm also very sad. The good part though is that I love sad shit, so that part's good.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I know a lot of people who really enjoy this show, and I just feel very duped because I thought it was because it's very hot and there are a lot of beautiful women in it, and not because there's a sucker punch of trauma in this show.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing, but also a like, I have to stare at fucking Pete Campbell or whatever his greasy face is.
Yeah.
Just the equivalent of like Mike Newton being a whiny baby.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Absolutely.
You're married to Allison Brie. Stop.
Can you
Stop it.
please behave?
And also, and this is the last thing I'm going to say, because I don't want to talk about Mad Men this whole time.
Yeah.
But like, Don Draper is married to January Jones.
Yeah.
And he has the audacity to look at this woman and be like,
Right.
And it's like, sir?
Yeah.
Sir. January Jones? Are you joking?
Yeah.
It's so frustrating how fundamentally incompatible these two people are, but they're also like so hot.
Yeah.
And I hate the both of them.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about most of these characters.
Yeah, that's a very apt summation of the whole show, I feel like.
Yeah, they're all very well done. They're acted very well, but I also just don't like them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at with that show. I will keep you updated, but it's also just like, so frustrating. Speaking of frustrating, we have some current events here.
Yes.
It's been a minute since we talked about Stephanie directly.
Yeah.
I would say. And this is an interesting piece of news. And anytime that we get to talk about her in the context of just like, what?
Yeah.
Always feels like a pleasurable moment.
Yeah.
I would say. So this is from good old space of Showbiz Cheat Sheet, which feels like one of those theater words to like warm up your vocal cords.
Yeah, right. Like a little exercise.
If you said it 3 times.
Yeah.
If you said it 3 times, you would like be ready to go on stage.
Right.
But as of the December 22nd, Matthew Turinsky wrote a piece saying Stephenie Meyer admitted a Will Ferrell movie inspired Twilight. Now I know what you're thinking, dear listener. You might have a raised brow, like myself.
Sure.
You might be like, Very fair.
Yeah.
You might also be thinking, well, which of Will Ferrell's movies?
Right. Which of his extensive filmography could have really rattled the brain and the heart of Stephenie Meyer?
Absolutely. And it's not what I jumped to.
Sure.
Because there are, again, extensive catalog.
Right.
It is the only Stranger Than Fiction.
Sure.
Which, weirdly enough, came out a year after this book was published.
So
I have questions.
So the math here isn't exactly...
I have a little bit of questions for time traveler Stephenie Meyer.
Right. What's going on, Miss Meyer?
And you might be thinking, which is a fair assessment, because this is not a funny movie.
No.
It's a little bit out of the realm for Will Ferrell.
Sure.
which is kind of the point. Like, if you've seen Stranger Than Fiction, like, great cast. And that is one of the things that is mentioned when Stephenie Meyer did this interview of, like, she burst into tears in the, like, climactic moment of when Will Ferrell's character meets the Emma Thompson's character. Mm-hmm. And I just have to wonder, Stephenie, what is it like inside your brain? Because how does this connect to what you imagined going on in the story?
Yeah.
And also, why? Why?
Yeah, these are all great questions. I do love, too, that this piece, like we have mentioned, says that Stranger Than Fiction came out not only after Twilight, but also after New Moon. So literally, those two books were not, unless Stephenie Meyer is a time traveler, which jury's out, were not influenced by this text. So I feel like what scenes in the later books were like, you know what, this is real Edward shit. Like, this is speaking to me and my muse. Like,
I mean, she was writing Eclipse and Breaking Dawn. Like, Breaking Dawn came out in 2008, so like there is still some influence that was happening at this time.
Sure.
But it mentions specifically in this article that it inspired Twilight. So, like, the movie?
All right.
Perhaps?
Okay.
But also, what part of what are you talking about?
Yeah, and it's so vague, too. Like, how do we have this information that's like, oh, this was, like, you know, a very pivotal, like, reference for her. But she's also, because she's Stephenie Meyer, is just like, well, I won't say how or why or for what reason. Yeah. So you can figure that out.
The only part that I can think of is that she mentions in this interview that she's referencing it as a relationship between her and Edward as the character. So there's a part when she's like, you know, I did have a dream after Twilight was finished of Edward coming to visit me, only I had gotten it wrong, and he did drink blood like every other vampire, and you couldn't live on animals the way I'd written it. We had this conversation, and he was terrifying. And I was like, okay, but how does this remind you of Stranger Than Fiction? Because
where does Will Ferrell fit in here in this narrative? Was he in the dream? Did he come and visit you in his little suit?
Do you imagine Edward as played by Will Ferrell? Because that changes things.
No, I hate that idea so much.
I agree. There are a lot of questions that I have after reading this, more so than I have answers, and I hate it a lot.
Yeah.
So, Stephenie, answer for yourself.
Answer for your crimes.
Please. What I will say, though, and the only positive, I think, of this piece is the image that they selected at the top.
Oh, she is giving some very powerful energy here.
It's bewitching, I might even say.
It is really like a photo of someone who knows they are, at that moment, the most influential person in her universe and in probably the larger universe. Because she's just like, has her little smirk. And honestly, like, if this was taken a second later, she might have been winking. Who knows? Like, she gives the energy. She gives that vibe. And there's just a bunch of fans just clamoring behind her. And she's like, oh, but first, photo for me.
What this photo reminds me of is a person who is smiling, knowing that they can time travel. Yeah. It's just like, oh, me? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She does look like she is sitting on a huge secret.
And I agree. Also, the amount of digital cameras in this is haunting.
Yeah, it's really...
It makes me...
an incredibly dated photograph.
Yes. For being 10 years ago, it feels like 25.
Yeah.
Which I hate a lot. I would love to have you take us to Screen Rant Corner.
Ooh, absolutely. We're back. It's been a hot minute, I feel like.
It's been a while.
Since we've had our boy Screen Rant, our noble troops at Screen Rant.
Listen, we can't do it all the time. We have to do it when it's special.
It's true. And we have a list of 10 characters that Edward should have been with other than Bella? By
A
Casey
listicle?
Lily George?
From Screen Rant?
Oh, how out of character. What? Are you telling me this content farm makes content farm content? Interesting.
No.
No.
So, here's the thing about this.
Yeah.
These 10 characters are unsurprising.
Right.
You will see these pairings everywhere. Across fanfiction.net. Across AO3.
Sure.
None of these are very surprising. However, and I said it correctly that time because I know some of you are annoyed by it. There's one of these that I think is very important that we should address.
It lives in my mind rent-free.
And I think about it often. And they put it disrespectfully high on this list.
Yeah.
At number 9. And it is the one, the only, Benjamin, aka Rami Malek.
Hello.
One of the most powerful people in the Twilight universe.
Yeah. First of all, Edward fucking wishes, right? Like, he could never.
The amount of diary entries that Edward has on this man alone.
Yeah.
It must haunt his waking days that he does not have the powers Benjamin has.
Yeah.
That he cannot beat Emmett in physical competitions the way that Benjamin can.
Listen, that seems like the breeding ground for some serious lusting. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Jealousy so often turns into just admiration and sexy times. So, come on.
Enemies to lovers. Just saying.
Listen.
And I'm not saying, for those of you who are like, it has to be Bella and Edward, I'm not saying that Bella has to leave the picture.
Listen. The more the merrier, baby. Let's make a throuple. What's going on here? Come on. Get a little polycule? Why not? They're all living forever anyway.
Exactly.
You're gonna tell me they're gonna stay with one person forever? And by forever, I mean forever. Like, come on.
It's unrealistic. And I'm just... Also, the photo, this, fucking edit that they've done on this.
His just powerful gaze.
I
do love, too, that in this blurb, they're like, well, Benjamin nor Edward have really been shown canonically to have interest in men. It's like,
what? One, don't speak for Edward, because...
Right, first of all, any chapter of Midnight Sun will tell you otherwise instantly. But also, if anyone in the Twilight movies are coded gay, Benjamin is one of them. Come on.
Exactly. I completely agree.
Grow up.
Be realistic.
If you're gonna put him on the list, say it with your chest, really, don't fucking pussyfoot around.
Don't whisper.
Yeah.
Say it and be honest about it.
Come on.
I completely agree. I think that you are right to say it and just speak your truth.
Thank you.
I think that it is wrong of them to put it at number 9, and I think that it should be way lower down, and I think that it is a cowardly move of them to put Tanya at number 1.
Yeah.
When Tanya obviously likes women.
Yeah, come on.
So, she uses men. That is in the text.
Right, yeah.
Just read the text.
Listen, you gotta do what you gotta do,
Exactly. And also, I really hate the photo that they selected for Tanya of just a really blurry Renesmee fucking fingers. It haunts my waking days.
Just the tiniest hand in frame.
Just really blurry hot dog fingers. I hate it.
Hot dog finger.
I don't like it. It scares me.
That's valid. You are valid.
I don't like it. Okay. We have a question here. A fuck, marry, kill of Twilight Daddies.
Oh, God.
Billy, Carlisle, Charlie.
What? No. What? No. My favorite dads? All my dads?
Oops, all dads.
Oops, all dads. Fuck. Oh, that's so hard.
That's the question.
I don't like it. Do you have thoughts? Do you have an easy way to go? Because I'm stumbling on every possible scenario.
What about this? Fuck, marry, go to breakfast with.
Okay.
Like, fuck, marry, routine bingo night.
Yeah. Because I don't want to kill Billy, but I don't think. I really don't, because I love Billy Black, but I also don't. I think I really want... I don't know! I hate this! There's so much to unpack here.
I think I would... this is tough, obviously.
Fuck. I think I want to fuck Charlie.
Yes.
Marry Carlisle.
Agree.
And brunch with Billy.
I 100% agree.
But like a regular brunch. Like, we're boys.
Yes, I want like a...
this is a weekly thing.
I want the hot goss.
Yes.
From Billy.
Absolutely.
I want to hear him shit talk Jacob.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's my 100%.
That's my final answer.
Mainly because I don't want to be responsible for cooking dinner for Charlie.
Yes, that is true. We don't want to be Charlie's parents, which I think a partnership with him would entail. And also the idea of having sex with a vampire, as previously established in these books, seems a little scary.
I agree.
So
I agree.
I don't know about that one.
Plus, you get that good independence.
It's true.
With Carla.
And also, who says we're not also married to Esme, you know?
That's what I'm saying.
Package deal, baby.
Absolutely right. Package deal. I love it. I love agreement. So the host.
We're back.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
But we're here.
In this wild world.
in this wild ass world.
Stephenie Meyer's brainscape.
The last time that we were in this brainscape of hers, we started off on this road trip of hers.
Right.
Send Me on My Way was playing.
Yeah.
A lot of Bruce Springsteen,
just blasting through your Kindle.
And lots of those good Melanie memories about fucking he went to Jared.
Yes.
And the fucking age difference.
Yeah, oh my god.
Which we love.
Yeah, love that. Big fan.
Love to go back into that. I will say, I'm wondering if this is going to be the same as we keep going, but we are on chapter 9 right now, and we're not even 100 pages in, which is so different for any other Stephenie book.
Totally. Yeah.
Just like, so quick. Such a little amuse-bouches.
Yeah, just tiny little mwah. Like
I know. And I don't hate it. It's not a complaint. It's just such a different...
Yeah.
It's such a different pace from anything we've had from her before.
Right, yeah. It's not like, oh, this chapter is 60 pages? Got it. Cool. Like...
I know. Every chapter of hers before has felt like any reading for college, where it's like, oh, I just have one reading to do? Dope.
Right?
And it's just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's just like one PDF that's in like 8-point font.
Yeah.
Just fucking ridiculous. So chapter 9, we're still on this road trip.
Yes.
And it's just lots of these memories. But we're just a love letter to the desert.
Right.
Still.
Yes.
And I think one thing that I did before reading this today was I went on Stephenie Meyer's website, which is just always a treat. If you're ever bored, folks, and you're not sure what to do, just go on Stephenie Meyer's website. And one of the things that I really enjoy about her section for the host is it's very small. Compared to the section for Twilight, it's just small. There's only 3 sections for it, which is 1, the playlist, 2, photos, and 3, an acknowledgement. And under the photos, you would think like, oh, it's photos from during the movie. Nope. It's just photos her husband took of just like reference photos of cacti.
Oh my god.
And it says like, hey, so my husband took these in case you've never been to the desert before and you want to kind of like get in the mood while reading.
In case I don't do my job as a writer and tell you what it looks like. Please use these visual aids.
It is literally the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And so I would highly recommend just taking a gander over there. It is a joy.
I love that.
To be able to see.
Ugh.
So please enjoy that.
She's gotta have like an insane like Southwest Pinterest board. You know what I mean? Like,
oh my god,
just that full aesthetic, like everything going on there.
The money I would pay to see Stephanie's Pinterest board.
Oh my god,
because she's always wearing like peaches and corals and those kinds of things. Like, she loves it so much. Yeah. And I've never seen anyone other than people from like Texas who just like aggressively love where they're from.
Yeah.
I cannot relate.
Yeah.
It's unreal. Anyways, there's this, in this chapter, Melanie is having this name that keeps popping up into Wanderer's head of what I think is Peacho Peak. I kept saying Pistachio Peak in my head.
Yeah, I think it's
and that is what resonated with me.
Or something like that.
Pikachu?
Pikachu, I think.
Pikachu. Great.
Yes, so Gesundheit.
Thank you. So it's somewhere between Pikachu and Pistachio Peak.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Great. And that is important, but Wander does not know why.
Right.
Until, again, more of these memories. We get through another one of these memories, which, again, this font. Hey, Steph. I get it at this point. We're 9 chapters in.
Yeah.
This 7-point font, fucking killing me, Steph. And it's not even like, because you get like 3 or 4 pages into the flashback, and I'm used to it.
Right.
And so when I get back into my like large points of the regular font, it just feels so big at that point. And it's just like, ugh. It just feels like a smack to the face.
Yeah.
I hate it so much.
Can't wait.
But we find out with the first flashback here that Melanie's like, oh no, I have to leave Jared. Oh no. But it's apparently, and we find out the reason why she was still on the lookout for Sharon is because Sharon was on the news? ?
Yeah.
Why? I'm not sure. The idea that there is like alien news, I think, is very pure.
Yeah.
I just want to know what that looks like.
Even in the apocalypse, like, local TV's still alive, baby. You know? Like, even when everything's gone.
It's good to know.
There's tumbleweeds. Everyone's dead. But we still got a couple people just vibing, you know?
Yeah, it's good to know that, like, local journalism is still alive and well.
Yeah.
That makes me very happy. But yeah, I found that interesting that she was, like, on the news, and I don't know how Melanie was able to see that. My interpretation of it was maybe they were raiding a house, and that's how they were able to see it, but
yeah,
that was unclear. But that is, she's leaving her brother, which makes her understandably very scared, especially because we also find out that her dad also died.
Yeah.
We still don't know about her mom, but also, you know, like, moms don't exist. So, in Stephanie's world, but also in Disney's world, so that's okay. Don't worry about it. I will say that as we are coming out, well, as Wanderer is kind of like ripped out of these memories, when she's like, enough, I do get another annotated moment from the playlist, which I did want to just welcome you into. And it is the very aptly titled I Wasn't Prepared by Isley. Which, yeah, great.
That seems actually quite on the nose, actually.
Yeah, very, very on the nose. Which, you know, very uncharacteristic for Stephanie.
Right.
But it's just a good reminder that is still kicking.
Yeah.
It is still there.
Still going strong.
And that playlist is actually on her website, but it doesn't have it listed with chapters or anything. It's just like, listen to this while reading.
Right.
And that's it. So, sure. But that is there. And then they start talking again about the mountains. And this is when things start to get a little bit interesting.
Yeah.
Because we start to find out a little bit more about Melanie's family, aka her aunts and uncles.
With their very fun, cool nickname.
Yes!
The quote, crazies. Thank you,
yes.
Stephanie. Thank you for that.
Yeah, the crazy Strider siblings. Stephanie. Hey. Where's my water bottle to spray you with? Goodness gracious.
Yeah. Yikes.
But also the names of these people.
Yeah.
Aunt Maggie, Uncle Jeb, Uncle Guy.
Jeb!
You named someone Guy?
You made a whole stink about someone named Kevin, and you had the audacity to name a character Guy?
To be fair, I knew someone in middle school named Guy, and he got so made fun of.
Yeah.
But, like, Stephanie.
Listen, that's the price you pay if you're a parent and you name your kid Guy.
It's true.
I'm sorry. Like, you are putting your kid in a weird position for the rest of their life.
It's true.
So, think on that.
When someone has to look at my resume and be like, it said to put name in there.
I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy.
Yeah, Stephanie, hey, sorry. You went on like 3 pages about fuck Kevin.
Yeah.
And now you're just like, oh yeah, no guys.
You made sure everyone knew that you were fundamentally anti-Kevin. And that's a dumb name. And then, 2 chapters later, you're like, so anyway, Uncle Guy.
These guys, so these siblings are interesting.
Yeah.
They're considered conspiracy theorists by their family.
Yeah.
Got booby traps everywhere.
Bunkers.
Lots of hidey holes.
Yeah, totally. The whole 9 yards.
To be fair, they were right.
Yes. It kind of turned out like they were anticipating, so.
That doesn't always happen.
Right.
But in their defense, it did.
Right.
This one time.
This was the apocalypse, so,
Right. But the fact that Melanie's dad sat her down and was like, now look at these photographs. This is our land. This is where our ranch is on Pistachio Peak.
Yeah.
This is where this all exists.
Don't you ever forget it. Keep it in your mind.
She's like, I'm 4. What do you want me to do?
Cool, Dad.
Love this bonding moment that we have. Just a fucking typical, just when you're hanging out with your dad and he's like, remember this.
And you're 4.
And you're 4. Oh my god. There's that thing going around on TikTok right now where it's like, explain a movie clip that relates to you and your dad. That is very, very much would relate to this a lot. But yeah, so that is where Wander is like, oh, okay, so that is why this peak is important to you. So Melanie is like telling all this, and Wander has to kind of like make a decision of like, oh, okay, so am I going to tell the Seeker this, or am I gonna be a good person?
Am I gonna go rogue? Am I gonna tell my boss all this hot goss?
Am I gonna be a narc about this, or what? Yeah. And instead, Wander decides to take a page from Melanie's book and is going to be a dramatic person and just like slams on the brakes in the middle of the lane in the freeway. Thankfully, apparently there's like no cars behind them.
Right.
But like,
yeah.
Hello? What are you doing? What are you doing?
What is it with Stephanie and characters with reckless driving habits?
For real.
What's going on there?
What is that? And also, just, like, loving reckless driving habits and also just, like, reckless driving on highways, too.
Yeah, specifically. Like,
Stop that. So, that is Wander making a clear line in the sand of, like, I'm gonna be capital L loyal.
Ding.
Ding. And deciding to kind of figure out what is in the peak, but also first going off into a little store that is nearby to get supplies.
Yes.
Because I think there was only I think there's like nothing in Wanderer's car.
We gotta stock up, baby.
Gotta get them supplies to go on the Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
Man, I miss that game so much. The amount that I learned in elementary school was literally just how to play that game. I'm pretty sure.
For real.
That and multiplication tables. Like,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that is where I got anxiety from.
Listen, as someone who went to a Montessori school, I only did computer games. We did not, there was not a lot of learning.
How the fuck have we been talking weekly for 4 years, and I just now learned that you went to a Montessori school? That makes so much sense about who you are as a person.
My mom was a teacher. She was a Montessori school teacher, which is why I went.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So.
Did you have to clean your feet in buckets?
I don't have memories of that, but I also have repressed a lot of that. So I can't be sure.
That's honestly
I can't be sure. It's, nothing's really sticking out, but maybe somewhere deep inside, yeah.
That's really fair. I went to a daycare once that was part of a Montessori school, and one of those things is that, like, because they would, like, play out in the backyard and stuff.
Right.
Because, I don't know, like, negative ions or whatever. And one of the things that they would do is, like, hose off their feet and, like, clean them in, like, a food trough or something.
Wow. Yeah, that's
I didn't know if that was, like, a normal thing.
I'm not sure if that's a universal Montessori implication, but maybe it is. I don't know.
Montessori stuff.
Yeah.
So anyways, chapter 10 is store stuff.
Can we talk about these store goods? Because I'm obsessed with every single one of them. We got 3 gallons of water. We got a box of granola bars. We got a roll of donuts. Classic.
The important stuff that you need.
And a bag of chips for snacks.
When you're traveling in the desert and you need sustenance.
Right.
Those are the important things.
Yes.
To survive you a long time.
Yes.
There's something about this that reminds me a lot of Apocalypse video games.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but it does, and I love that. One of the things I appreciate about this moment, too, is how snarky Melanie is. Of just like, sorry, you can't pick up water.
Right.
So I love that a lot. And also, just how weirded out Melanie is that they don't pay in this universe.
Yeah.
She just cannot comprehend
it's like,
that.
What? What do you mean?
I don't. Just, this is a world that apparently doesn't exist with capitalism anymore.
Yeah.
That they scan stuff for inventory's sake, but they don't use that anymore, which is quite interesting. But yes, I appreciate Wander for being like, yeah, I'm gonna get water, but I'm also gonna get donuts and chips because, priorities. The rest of this chapter, though, is the two of them essentially just fighting over this map and a car that is not meant to go off-roading.
Yeah.
And just trying to navigate as far as they can before it gets dark. And there is... Are you caught up on Glow?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
There is something about this chapter that reminds me a lot of the camping episode in Glow.
Yes. Oh, 100%. Totally.
Where there's, I don't know what it is, but it's just like being out in the desert and the two of them just like fighting.
Yeah.
That just reminded me of that camping episode in Glow. And I appreciated that a lot.
Yeah.
Of just like, we're just kind of stuck out here and just figuring it out as we go, which I appreciated. So there's apparently Melanie is really, she knows a lot of names of spiny plants, which like Stephanie, okay, like we got it.
Yeah, come on.
That's cool. You can show off. That's fine. But the goal is trying to figure out Melanie knows that's not the layout, but the skyline of the mountains that they're supposed to be looking for. And so that's what they're trying to figure out, but they obviously cannot get it the whole way there before night falls.
Right.
So they go as far as they can, but thankfully they decided to still stay in the car by the time the night falls so that they're not risking their life out in the dark and the cold, which is good. But listening to the two of them argue
yeah,
and just being like, I'll do this my way, and like, you're being childish.
you're right.
Is still pretty funny.
Yeah. Big fan of this, just like internal fight, mind fight.
I agree. Yeah. Mind fight is very good. Because there's a part of it is like quite realistic of Wander just being like, yeah, I'll figure it out, but also just having no capabilities.
Right.
And Melanie wanting to push through, but just not having the physical ability to do so. But yes, having that happen just mentally, I think, is quite interesting.
Yeah.
So I think I'm curious to see how much longer we have until they find Jared. Because we're still quite early. Like, we're not even 100 pages in.
Right.
And this is a typical Stephanie book. So we have, like, 500 pages
got a long ways to go, you know?
I agree. So I'm interested to see what happens after this.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. When we come back in the new year, we have chapters 11 and 12.
Hell yeah.
We'll just keep on trucking.
Yes.
Keep on keeping on. Until then, we have our last shout out of our patrons for the year.
Oh my gosh. Love that.
I know.
Love. Obsessed.
So good.
One last hurrah for the year. For 2020.
Yes. And I've seen so many people being like, hey, remember when you said in 2017 that it was the worst year ever? First of all, I don't remember that.
Yeah, sorry.
And second of all, listen, 2017 me was probably correct.
At the time.
And at the time.
Right, yeah.
And knew
we don't have the power of
saying.
Hindsight, you know? Yeah.
Exactly. So they knew what they were talking about.
Yeah.
But me now, I know what I'm saying when I say that this year is awful.
Yeah.
But our patrons make it a lot better. So.
Hell yeah.
Would you like to start?
Absolutely. Shout out Althea Johnson.
Pew, 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 pew. Thank you to Mallory Hardwick.
Ow! Woo.
Ow, ow, ow.
Shout out Katie Black.
Pew, pew, pew. Thank you to Kylie Minty.
Ow!
Ow, 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 ow.
Thank you, Elizabeth James.
Pew, 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 pew. Thank you to Jess Love.
Ooh.
Pew, 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 pew.
Shout out Alex Dornan.
Pew, 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 pew. Thank you to Carrie Goldberg.
Bwee, bwee, bwee.
Boom, boom, boom.
Shout out Mickey Meyer.
Boom, 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 boom. Thank you to Zoe Steele.
Ow. Woo. Shout out Rebecca Cullen.
Boom, 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 boom. Thank you to Amy Taylor.
Ow.
Boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom.
Shout out Mulch Gray.
Mulch.
Woohoo.
Thank you to our unofficial intern and new business owner, Taylor.
Oh my gosh.
Brown.
Yes.
Town.
Yes.
Lautner.
Yes. Making moves.
Making moves.
Love that. Shout out Danae Swan.
Pew, 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 pew. Thank you to Aaron Weber.
Bwee, 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 bwee. Shout out Gwen Stanley.
Pew, 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 pew. Thank you to my mom, who requested that these be in ASMR, but I cannot do that because that scares me. Kelly Beck. Boom, 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 boom.
Thank you, Kelly Beck.
Oh, absolutely not. Oh, no.
I did that for you, Kelly. Allie was too afraid, but I will do that for
That's
you
true.
because you pay us money and I love you.
That's true.
Shout out Aaron Salinger.
Thank you to Sophia Salinger.
Bwee, bwee, bwee.
Pew, pew, pew.
Shout out India Peach.
Pew, pew, pew,
Bwee,
pew.
bwee, bwee.
Thank you to Jay Molina.
Ow. Ooh.
Ow.
And shout out to Casey Yorkie. Jesus, I can't read. Shout out to Casey Yorkie. Goddamn.
Honestly, I kind of liked it as yours.
Listen, Casey York has good mouthfeel to it, but it is not the fake name that we've given you. So, Casey Yorkie.
That's true. Okay, I I have not found a fan fiction in a long time. And I'm very
millennia. Did it feel like coming home,
you know? It felt like I had never found one in my entire life. I was like, I don't...
Yeah.
How
you lost your touch.
How does one do that?
Yeah.
I did. So today's fan fiction is by the author Llama Mama 23.
Fuck yeah, Llama Mama.
It was published on May 31st of 2007.
Beautiful.
And it is titled Vampiric Peaches.
Ooh.
The description is Emmett decides to attempt to turn peaches into vampires. Warning, extremely pointless and stupid.
Love that.
I will read a selection from you right now. This is from Edward's point of view. I stared at him, totally flabbergasted. Vampires didn't go around eating peaches, period. It didn't just happen. I watched intently, waiting to see if he was actually planning on eating a peach. But after he sunk his teeth into the peach, his back twitched slightly, indicating a grimace. He quickly set the peach back down on the floor surrounding him, and I dared to hope that he had just temporarily lost his mind, and was now going to throw all the peaches away like a good little vampire. Nope. He picked up another peach and bit into it once before setting it aside and picking up the next one and biting that one once. I blinked rapidly. That was not making any sense. It hit me then, like the bolts of lightning starting to flash outside. Emmett was trying to turn the peaches into vampires. I almost laughed at the idea. It was totally and 100% impossible. Emmett was out of his puny little mind. But that was going to make a great story. I stood there, not making a sound, debating if I should let Emmett know I saw this or not. If I alerted him to my presence, he would be beyond embarrassed and possibly try to bribe me into not sharing this interesting event with anyone else. But if I didn't, I still had a good laugh, as did everyone else that I chose to tell, but they might not believe that even Emmett would do something so stupid. It was a hard choice, but as I was about to clear my throat to say, hello, I see you eating peaches, my eyes caught a faint movement on the floor. I scanned the room, noticing that Emmett had seen the movements too. Before my very undead eyes, a peach rolled over, all by itself. Emmett chuckled, continuing with his peach-biting fest. I glued my eyes to the peach, not believing my eyes when I saw another one roll over. The first one that had moved rolled again, pulling itself onto the pointy part that Peaches had and balancing on it perfectly. It swiveled on that part, scooting forward a few inches. That was impossible. Emmett was making peach vampires. End scene.
Wow.
It is,
I love that.
It is a one-shot that is powerful and has a lot of great Emmett content, which I know a lot of our listeners greatly enjoy.
Love a good little Emmett moment.
We love a good Twitch streamer who would definitely talk about his new peach vampires.
Yes. 100%.
We love to see it. Yeah. Well, when you all listen to this, it'll be near the end of the year, which is wild. So take care of yourselves.
Yeah.
Be good. We'd love to see that. And from the Pacific Northwest,
get bit.
And get whipped.
Woo! Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. Our theme music is by Eli Krause, and our artwork is by Maddie Padilla. Follow the show on Twitter at Into the Twilight and support us on Patreon at patreon.com/intothetwilight. Send us an email or a fanfiction at intothetwilightshow@gmail.com. You can find Allie at Into Wild Places and me at Cody Crow.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media, audio for everyone.